Hello, Stacy. How are you?
Good morning.
Or should I call you the Phoenix Milf? Which one do you like to be called?
Oh, Stacy's fine. Yes.
Stacy's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I
Yep.
brought you on. I brought you on for the second time. First we did the audio version, but
Yep.
now that I've progressed into video, I want everyone to see how lovely you are.
Aw, thank you.
And you're a
At
great person. And you're a great
bright and
person.
early morning.
Huh? Hmm?
Yeah, bright and early on a
I
bright.
know, I know. I'm in DC where it's 10 o'clock and you're like bright and
Yep.
early in Arizona. It was like 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you normally up this early?
Well, when we're not in quarantine, I am. But quarantine, I've been sleeping in.
That I know. That aren't we all? So but I brought you on because I wanted to talk about, and I know you're like the sex therapist. I call you a sex therapist. I know you're a therapist for like couples and things like that. But in my world, you're the sex therapist. So I brought you on because I wanted you to talk about and tell the listeners how we can cope sexually and mentally, like with couples, singles, and all of that. How can they coexist in that one house when they either like each other, love each other, or hate each other?
Yeah.
Do you have
Right.
do you have any advice for couples?
Well, especially now when we can't like really get away from each other. You know, so right now, like everything is kind of not kind of everything is amplified. You've got people who, it's like the first week or 2 weeks or maybe even 3 weeks, everyone was kind of like, oh yeah, this is,
Yeah.
there's a bad thing going on, but it's kind of this forced vacation, right? And
Hmm.
then now that we're, 5 or more weeks into this, depending on, the part of the world that we're in, um, it's really causing people. I mean, there's a lot of kind of unrest and anxiety and insecurity and fear that's going on, and
Hmm.
and then we're people aren't out at their jobs and or they're working from home and kids aren't in school, and so it's really this kind of interesting place where we're faced with looking at our life, like here's the life that we created in this home that
Yeah.
we're in.
Right.
um, and I think that people are kind of, I don't know if I want to say second guessing. Uh,
I think that's a good probably word
I
for it.
mean,
Good
probably
term.
some people, as well as just, trying to figure out like what did I do? How did I
Right.
get myself into this place, both with their internal state of both mental health and physical health, as well as with their partner, and then the behaviors that their kids are having.
Yeah.
And it's like people used to run and go escape to work and the commute that they hate, the job that they hate, and now they're like, give me back my job and my commute so I can
Right.
house. And it's like, me, I just want to like shake everybody and be like, okay, wait, hold on, like this is a great time to reflect
Right.
and to really take responsibility. I know I was just talking with someone about, I teach a concept called what's called radical responsibility. And
Hmm.
like, this world that's out here is this world that I've created.
Right.
And how, and even if I, because I talk with people a lot about not having a victim mentality. Um,
Hmm.
and it's like, even if you don't want to take necessarily responsibility for the acts of things that have happened or are happening outside of you, um,
Hmm.
you take responsibility for how you respond to those things.
Right.
And so um, I I follow Brendan Burchard, who's a well-known high performance coach, along with like Tony Robbins, that kind of
Oh
guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he talks a lot, and I love the fact that basically he's like, if you are, out of your 20s and
Hmm.
you are still complaining about your life, like you need to do something about it. Like
Yeah, that's true.
therapy, get a coach, get a new job, like it's your responsibility to make your life the best that it can be. And
Yeah.
when you sit down and realize that you and your partner are at each other's throats, you
Hmm.
are, um, it might be time to reassess some things, in addition to just staying busy, right? Like that's, or finding some things to do as a family, um,
Yeah.
we've been playing a lot of board games, bike
Uh-huh.
rides, and I get it. It gets, it's hard to do 100 of those.
How
But
how old are the kids that are playing?
the ones that I have at home still are teenagers, 13 and 15.
Okay, so how are they doing with the board games?
Oh, well, we have a blast and
Oh,
card.
good.
So yeah, I mean,
That's
they're a
good.
little like initially they're kind of like, Mom, we do, and
Right.
I'm going to get out on their bikes to get outside.
Yeah.
We have beautiful weather right now, so we can do that.
Hmm.
Parts of the country, I don't know how the weather is in your place, but yeah,
It's awful right now here. It's terrible. It's
yeah.
awful.
So it's not like so you're really stuck inside because it's that time of year.
Hmm.
So yeah, you've got to get people have got to get creative, and then really taking ownership for, okay, this is the life that I've created. How do I engage with it?
Now,
Just yeah,
you mentioned earlier that if you're outside of your 20s, it's time to reflect. Now, I thought that was interesting because I always thought that you make your mistakes before you hit 30.
mm,
You know what I mean? So once you hit 30, it's almost like, okay, you know better than to do some of the dumb things that you're doing.
yeah.
So have you noticed that most people once they hit 30 have matured in their relationships?
Uh, yeah, well, and really it's that they've matured in themselves because I know that we feel grown when we're in our 20s, but it
Mm-hmm.
really in brain development wise and even with our bodies, like especially for men, I mean, they continue growing into their 20s depending on
Right.
what they hit puberty. Um, and so, and even with brain development, like teenagers' brains are still figuring things out and still like kind of solidifying those neural pathways.
Right.
And so I mean, even into your 20s, like yes, it's kind of this arbitrary age as a society that we've created, 18. Um,
Mm-hmm.
now you're an adult. And so, we're raised kind of culturally to have that perspective, but your brain and your choices and your personality and everything is still developing well into your 20s.
Yeah.
And so, you have the rights of an adult, but you're still not quite, things more kind of click in and it's like, you really are able to connect natural and logical consequences and have a little more desire to think through your actions
Right.
and
You're still learning.
yeah. So
I think I read that at 25 your brain is fully developed. I
mm,
think it was somewhere around that age. So far, far, far from 18.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what do you have any advice for, like, what about the couples that are actually doing well? Now sometimes you can be in a great relationship, then now you're stuck together, and now it's like, do I really like this person? So how do they keep it interesting without
Well,
killing each other?
yeah. So even people who have like really good relationships, like this is going to challenge their ability to communicate. And the other thing is that it challenges really our core issue of abandonment, of
Hmm.
security, when we have this kind of collective situation that's going on. Like this isn't something that's just happening in some part of the US. Like when we get a hurricane
Hmm.
or something like that, or the wildfires, even in specific locations across the world, this is a worldwide impact on
Right.
health and
Right.
cultures and business. And so I would say that communication, it cannot be stressed enough as
Yeah.
key to and it might be that you have good communication, but it's like really taking it to another level, like a deeper level, a broader level of
Uh-huh.
sharing with your partner, like, hey, these are my fears. And also that gratitude, like we don't know if today is given to us the rest of the day. I've got
Yeah.
plans for today, but I might not be here. And so am I hugging and loving on the people around me? Am I, you know, cultivating a positive attitude and mindset within myself so that it makes the experience of me, beneficial for other people around me,
Yeah.
rather than just being a jerk. And so it's really beginning to fine tune your appreciation
Yeah.
and the ability to communicate that appreciation for others.
Now, I know, I think it was Dolly Parton. I can't think. It's someone that's married, who's been married for a really long time,
Mhm.
but they were married for a long time, she said, because she was able to travel so much. So she didn't have to spend a lot of time with her husband. So,
Yeah,
but even though, like you said, it's a good relationship, but now you have to really learn each other.
right.
So, So sometimes that distance is what made that relationship
Yeah.
last so long.
And that is, yeah, it's definitely is true. I
Yeah,
feel, yeah, really blessed that right now, I have a primary relationship and we're with each other like 24/7 because he
yeah.
works from home and then I'm working from home. And
Hmm.
just the other day I looked at him, I'm like, you know what? Thank goodness that I really like you. I'm like, I have seen you straight for the last 75 hours.
Yep. If this is really, I mean, this tells everything now. So now you know for a fact what type of decision you made. So it
Right.
sounds you still are smiling, so I can tell that you're still happy.
Yeah.
So everything's
Well,
good.
and I think that I just have I really cultivate a positive mindset. There's just so much to be grateful for.
Right.
And at the same time, being able to acknowledge that some people are having tremendous losses in their lives right
Oh
now.
yeah.
And so it's just, I can continue to be grateful that I'm blessed in this time and also have a sense of compassion for, the experience that everyone's
And
going
yeah, that's absolutely. Be grateful. They're always. Now we talked about the married couples. Now there's that other group that weren't either weren't crazy enough to get married or not, or just didn't find the right person yet. So how, like, you're saying, not you, but some people are single, they're in the house, like, I know it's social distancing, but people have needs. So
Sure. Yeah. Well, and I'm seeing a lot of people who really just want an adult conversation with someone
yeah.
else, or who want to be hugged and held. Um,
Hmm.
silly as that might sound, or people who are like, because of the social distancing right now, like they're not on their dating sites or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
kind of out hooking up with people. And so they are being more intentional about getting, either their sexual needs met or their physical needs met,
Hmm.
asking for those things. But yeah, really people who are just craving, like, oh, can you just hold me?
Yeah. 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 That's
Yeah,
I see that a lot online, and people just like, I can't wait till this is over so I can. They use more graphic terms sometimes, but
sure.
they want to be held. You know what I mean? So in a way, I feel bad, but I mean, in a way, sometimes you get the chance to learn yourself when you're
Yeah.
alone and learn what you really
Well,
like.
that's the other thing that this is revealing, that often does when you're going through a struggle, is you really see who your friends are and who they
Hmm.
aren't. And then you're also dealing with yourself if you have a life where you're alone and you don't have a lot of that support system. I mean, I know there are people who are really feeling lonely and
Yeah.
despondent, and just in a lot of fear, even like what the heck, they realize, I don't have anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, it's a great time to begin to make some of those changes to figure out why, maybe,
Hmm. Yeah.
or maybe, you like it that way and it just gives you lots of contemplation time. So yeah, it's really a struggle for everybody, whether you're married and good, you're married and struggling, or you're single.
Hmm.
Everybody's.
I heard that Las Vegas is, I don't know if you heard the same thing. This could have been a rumor, but I heard that Las Vegas is opening up their brothels.
Oh, well, I know I saw a comment yesterday on Twitter from someone that said that they had just worked for the day, um,
For, what
their brothels.
what do you think about that? I think it's crazy. I think it's way too soon for that.
Um, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it kind of gets into a lot of different things. I mean, I'm still seeing people in person.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and so I don't, I just assume, like, if right now people are healthy, you know,
Hmm.
and I'm healthy. Now, what I do understand is that you can be exposed to the virus and be asymptomatic.
Yeah.
And so, there is that.
Well, one on one, like a brothel is like you have I don't know how many people go into a brothel in a day, but that's a lot of, like, if you're one on one, I mean, you can kind of screen exactly
Oh,
who.
sure. Yeah.
But you're talking about a brothel. I haven't been to one, but how many people are in and out in a day? Like,
Well, yeah, and I would say that they are probably able to take I mean, just like a grocery store,
yeah,
right? So they probably are being super proactive about all of their common surfaces, making sure that those are cleaned.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they do in terms of personal hygiene,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I would imagine that as any responsible business right now, that they're
Yeah.
taking measures. You know, does it prevent
Yeah.
things? No, just like you can go to the grocery store. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're all wearing masks, and like there's going to be a new fetish that comes out of this.
I was just about to say that when you said that maybe they're wearing like suits and probably like it's probably some guys like, wow, like, you know, that's sexy, you know what I mean?
All those men with latex fetishes are now like,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
uh,
Latex with the cutouts everywhere. This is about to start a whole new thing. I
every,
wonder who's gonna make the first video of like some guy in a
it's
some
probably already been done.
I'm
I'm
oh,
sure.
I'm gonna check today. I'm willing to bet someone has already made one. And if they haven't,
You let
huh?
me know. Because
Oh,
some things you just can't unsee, so I'll let you have that.
I, I can only imagine. That's gonna be crazy. So I have one last thing. This is perfect timing. All right, so one last thing, right? So we talked about the couples, talked about the singles.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess the mistresses kind of go in the same category as the singles, but as someone who is with a married man or woman, married, what's the guy called? If it's not a mistress, what is the guy version of a mistress? Is it?
Uh, I don't know. There's
Is it?
probably a formal term though. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look that up. So, all right, so you have that situation, but you know that are you do you get upset with the guy? Not you, but would someone get like upset with the guy because he's not leaving his house because he's quarantined? Like, does that go put on hold? How do you think that's being handled?
I think it's challenging, and I think that those who are, have relationships with people who are already, married or
Right,
those things, I think is a challenge. I know that, you know, I can go there in terms of, so as I have an escort business, and so that kind of came to a screeching halt because all of the clientele that I had that were married, they're now at home with their partner,
right.
and they can't even like text or email or call or get on Skype,
Hmm.
and they can't get out of the house. They
Yeah,
can't run to the gym or go to a restaurant, or even some of them will say they're going to the grocery store. You
it
know,
has to be really quick. If you're saying grocery store, that's like your
well,
time is limited.
the line at Costco.
Like, I was out there all day, baby.
um, but yeah, I do think that there's, and on the other end of it, if there's a woman or a man who's in those situations, like it again, like I said, kind of like with the singles, like you're faced with the reality of
Yeah,
the choice that you made for your relationship. And so um it's like, oh, I don't have this person to be
yeah,
available to me, all the time. And so I would imagine that it could create some stress in those
yeah. And
you
a lot of those relationships aren't just like flings. They're like yearly,
long
year,
term. Yeah.
long-term relationships. So it has to be really tough on them because that's
Yeah.
almost like your not spouse, but your significant other is gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
has to
and
be.
so there's going to be some crazy, reuniting whole hotel rooms, and I don't know.
It's gonna be once this opens back up. Everyone is talking about the baby boom like right now
Oh
with
yeah, it's going to happen in 9 months from now. Yeah.
right there's going to be right I think there's going to be some problems in some cases because a lot of times people are in relationships where they're not super happy,
Right.
and then you're bringing a baby into the world in a relationship that's not super happy. So
Right.
I personally would like everyone that's not in a good relationship to just kind of chill out and work like you said, just work on your
Put a cover.
relationship first. Yeah, don't bring any. Well, never mind. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
that.
The awesome thing is that as a therapist and as a coach, like it will always keep me in business.
I, trust me, believe. Oh my goodness. I I think I probably know. I'm not gonna name any couples, but out of 10 couples, I'm just gonna go random. I think I'm gonna say like maybe 6 are like happy.
Hmm.
I would say 60%, and that's probably high to be honest.
Yeah, I would say that is high.
Yeah, I'm saying that because I'm probably some of my friends are probably watching, and I don't want to.
Well, and I mean, I think that what I see is that's difficult is that there's a lot of couples who they're happy like
Mm,
like that. They're happy,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they love their partner, but they're not really fulfilled.
Right.
And that's tough when if you're constantly seeing that your fulfillment comes from someone else
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
that you can't control,
Hmm.
what they think or how they feel or what they do, then that becomes really challenging. And so it's also why I love like radical responsibility is about really taking charge of identifying, what are my needs? How do I get them met? How do I create a life that
Hmm.
reflects back all the things that I love and value? And how do I shift? Maybe there's some things that you just go, okay, the pros and cons have been weighed, and this relationship matters more to me than this other particular thing. So, it's just really a time of assessment. Um,
Yeah, assessment, reflection, like you mentioned. Yep, I totally agree with you. But we are out of time. This was awesome
okay.
as always, as always.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So hopefully we can work on something uh on a regular basis.
Yeah, we should do like a series or something.
I would love to do a series.
Yeah.
So we're going to discuss that, and everyone watching, um, maybe your fans and my fans can chime in and let us know what they
For
like the
sure.
series to be about.
Yeah,
Because
that'd be
I can think of a million things because I could talk to you forever.
yeah.
I can
And
think
I'll
of a
talk
million.
about anything. So
All right, well, let's just wrap it up. I appreciate it. Good talking to you.
yeah.
And I'm going to get back. We're going to be in touch and we'll bring them a series sometime soon.
Okay. And yeah, you can find me at if anybody's interested for a
I'm
viewer, you
sorry.
can find me at that's okay, lifebystacy.com. I'm rebranding in my website and business, or ArizonaMilf.com as well. So
Yep, and you'll love her. She's the coolest person.
thank you.
All right, Stacy, I'm gonna talk to you later.
Okay. All right.
All
Have a
right,
good one.
thanks.